Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh,
God! Chubs Gone Wild! Hello and welcome to Swanner and Judd. Oh wait, no, this is Chubs Gone Wild.
That's
I'm
correct.
And who are you?
I'm Judd.
No, we corrected it, and now you're Matt.
Oh, I'm Matt. And this
Okay, good.
Chubs
You
Gone
got that
Wild.
down. Got that down. Yeah, and well, it's first of all, I'm on my Swanner and Judd page, and I shouldn't be. Today is Chubs Gone Wild 531 episode, February 19th, 2024.
Woohoo.
The weather is 62 with thunderstorms, and they're saying a chance of tornadoes. Really? Question mark. And yesterday we had 1.7 inches of rain, which is not like us.
No.
We usually do it in, they microdose us with rain here.
Mhm.
And then we're expected to get somewhere between 0.7 and another inch today, depending on how it hits us. Because it was weird yesterday. We were supposed to be raining all day, but it didn't even start raining until like 8 o'clock. And then when it rained at 8 o'clock, it poured.
Yes, it did.
I had to turn up the TV twice because it was so loud. And I've got a good roof, so we were hearing it all the windows and the doors, and it was quite something. So
Amazing.
but no thunder and lightning last night.
No, I didn't see anything.
And with the way the weather was presenting it, they had these orange, red, yellow things going across us, and that usually means thunderstorms. So I was surprised. But looking forward to another day of this, and it goes through to tomorrow morning. So who knows what's going to happen?
No. Hopefully not destruction, but yay.
Now, did you realize it's only 41 days till Easter?
It surprised me, actually.
And 262 days to Halloween.
I got to get my costumes going.
And 317 to Christmas. It seems like it should be closer, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, over 300 days till Christmas seems like a long, long time.
And everything's going by so quickly.
I know, and I think that's the other reason it seems very, very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should talk about Patreon.
Cool. Oh, you want me to talk about it? Okay. Patreon offers a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like, special podcasts, videos, books, and so much more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sausage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Phoenix Dave, Brother Sinatus, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and Moose P. And please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame to see how you can become a supporter of our work for as little as $1 a month.
And that does the Patreon goes towards all three podcasts too. So
yes, it does.
If you listen to more than one, gosh, not saying that you should pay more or any, but yes, maybe you should. I was really surprised with I was watching one of my scaries, and at the end they ran their Patreon page, and it was huge. And I don't think it was all of them either, because it was running really fast. It's like,
right.
Okay, yeah. So yeah.
Well,
looking forward to just looking forward.
Yeah.
Especially to find out what today's affirmation is.
Well, today's affirmation, take a moment, please, and center yourself. I live in the now. and I am wide awake to opportunities as they present themselves. That's lovely. And hopefully some opportunities will present themselves, especially with the news I got for the show, as you know. So,
Well, I know, but they don't. So,
yeah.
yes, you're right.
All right. Today's affirmation, we did that one. And today in history on February 19th,
18,
1847. What's that?
1847.
Oh, yes. February 19th, 1847. The first rescuers reached surviving members of the Donner Party, a group of California-bound immigrants. Uh,
Stranded by snow in
yeah,
the Sierra Nevada mountains.
that was, I just remember, isn't that where they ate each other, or one of them said something nice and then left or something?
No, that's where they ate each other.
Oh, okay, I was just,
Well, not eat. They didn't eat everybody. That was the whole thing. The first rescuers got there and goes, "Wow, I figured there would have been more people here. Hey, what are all these bones?" Okay,
uh,
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 so so
they
that's
died naturally, but then we took care of them.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
we'll go with that, right?
sure, it was the Hannibal Lecter Donner Party.
Okay. Also on February 19th, 1992, 24-year-old recent film graduate John Singleton becomes the youngest and first Black film director nominated for an Academy Award for his movie Boys in the Hood.
I didn't realize he was that young.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I just remember thinking it was a really good movie, but I have not watched it in many years. All right. Well, let's see if we've celebrated any holidays, starting with the International Tug of War Day. Nope.
No, I'll
Uh,
be doing that after the show.
oh. It's also Iwo Jima Day, Arabian Horses, Chocolate Mint, National Lash Day.
Do you like chocolate mint?
Um, I do like an Andes Mint now and then, but I don't.
How about like mint chocolate chip ice cream?
Yes.
See, I don't.
I won't like just go randomly buy it, but if I'm in the mood for it, yeah, I like it.
I think I overate it when I was a child. We always seemed to have that flavor,
Yeah.
and I was the one that wanted the vanilla, but yet we had mint chocolate chip. So
Mm.
I just nowadays it's just it kind of gives me the willies because I do like a good peppermint patty,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But yeah, okay, go ahead. What else?
No, when I was a kid, I would eat the chocolate mint.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, it's also National Vet Girls Rise Day. Imagine we probably didn't celebrate that one. It's President's Day and also Prevent Plagiarism Day, which is a very important day for many reasons.
uh-huh.
And
Many
as
reasons.
writers, we support it. Okay. Next up, let's talk about some birthdays. I know that we have some coming up and some very special people to us. Today's birthdays. Oh, it's Lexi Louise's birthday. And also Tim, formerly Timmy Sims, now
Yeah,
Tim.
yes.
And happy birthday to them. Also, happy birthday to Mila. Mila was one of the Transponder podcast hosts and a very um, amazing trans activist. So, also Justin, Sandra. No, she's your friend. She's your friend, Sandra.
I didn't see her on my list. Well, was it not today?
No, it's the 21st.
Okay. That's
Same day as Mr. Michael Sage, friend of the show, friend of the friendless. Oh, yeah, that's me. Anyway, but his birthday's coming up. Also, Ova de Rainbow and Daryl. We have our local actor friend Daryl. IJ. We have Bowtie. Some interesting names for February here. We have Michael. And we have Mr. Patrick Plain. Amazing actor. And then we have Bryce and Christian. and Paul. Amazing. Very eclectic group of people there.
And funny names.
Well, some of them, yeah, bow tie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and there was one right before that that was kind of funny too.
Over the Rainbow.
Yeah, that would be the one.
Well, that's the drag. What are they? The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence drag persona of our actor friend Daryl.
Oh, I did
Yeah.
not know that. Okay.
It took me a while to piece them together, but yeah. All right. Well, happy birthday, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. And now it's time for some feedback, feedback. And Sean says, just found out there is a Halo TV show. Agree with Matt that if they're going to make a standalone TV show, you shouldn't need deep knowledge of the games to follow it. Totally agree with you. And then Mr. Moose says, I'd be happy to share my Bretta recipe with you if I had one. Problem is, I just dumped stuff together without measuring. Then, as best as he could, he did send us an outline for a Bretta recipe of some of the stuff that he uses, and I forwarded that on to you, Tom. But it's a very, very long recipe, so we won't be reading it on the show. But it looks really good. Can't wait.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Let's see. Bag. And then okay, so we got to get into Chub Hugs, and starting out with, I want to send a Chub Hug out from me, and I will say you, and also from Mr. Ouija to Phoenix Dave, who popped my no flowers for Valentine's Day uh, cherry by sending flowers for Valentine's Day to the three of us. And just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for that. They are on the piece of furniture, the drawers that Mr. Moose got me for my birthday. So very, very beautiful. And of course, there's so many Chub Hugs that just need to be sent out. It's almost overwhelming. What do you have?
Well, for locally, the people affected by our continual storms. Fortunately, well, actually, I didn't watch the news yet, so I don't know what's going on in our mountains, but they're being, covered in snow.
Mhm.
And then the rain has just, I mean, over an inch and a half of rain is a lot of rain for this area. At one point, I was looking out my front door and I could not see my, well, the water was coming. I got a rain spout right by the front door, and it wasn't running off into the driveway fast enough. So, the walkway to the front porch was literally probably 2 or 3 inches of rain because it wasn't flowing down fast enough. It was coming down too fast.
Mhm.
So yeah, people affected by weather, because we're not the only ones either. So it's all over the country, really, and I'm sure all over the world, but
Mhm.
uh, the ones that are affecting us is locally. And believe me, like right now, it's fucking sunny, and then we're supposed to get thunderstorms and possible tornadoes and another almost inch of rain. Jesus.
Yeah.
But it looks like we have a week off. But yesterday it was weird during the dry, when the wind was blowing,
Mhm.
everything got dry all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and then it got wet again. So it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Those
So
went crazy yesterday. But all right. Let's see. Let's jump into some celebrity news. A new animated special puts a spotlight on Franklin Armstrong, the first Black character of the Peanuts comic strip more than 50 years after his debut. The Apple TV special, Snoopy Presents Welcome Home Franklin, explores the character's origin as a young boy from a military family who likes baseball, space, and listening to Stevie Wonder.
Did you ever see the one where they're all grown up and Charlie Brown comes back? He had left town, he comes back, he's riding a motorcycle, he pulls into town. Linus is like locked away in a house. He's a meth guy, and it was just it was like the whole Peanuts area was just terrible. Thank God Charlie got out, type thing. It was really it was very funny, but kind of sad at the same time.
Yeah, that's mm, uh, uh, okay. Moving on. Amy Schumer shared a health update after some on social media commented that her appearance had changed. Thank you so much for everyone's input about my face. I've enjoyed feedback and deliberation about my appearance as all women do for the almost 20 years. And you're right, it is puffier than normal right now. She added that she's dealing with endometriosis, a painful condition that occurs when tissue that is similar to the inner lining of the uterus grows outside the uterus. So, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry changed their children's last names. The surname switch from Mountbatten Windsor to Sussex stems back to the coronation of King Charles, as their grandfather took the throne, and Archie and Lilibet moved up in the line of succession. The children were afforded the new titles of Prince and Princess of Sussex.
Had not heard that.
Yeah, I hadn't really either. Lilibet, it's quite famous that that was the nickname of the queen. But do you know how that name came about?
No.
She actually couldn't pronounce Elizabeth when she was a little kid, and so she would say Lilibet.
Oh.
So it stuck. So anyway. All right. Well, surprise, surprise, we have not had any celebrity deaths this week.
Well, we had one.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know his name off the top of my head.
You mean Novotny?
Is that Putin's rival that died in prison after he poisoned him? He tried to murder him a couple times.
Yep.
Yeah, like he just died in prison. We know what happened.
Yeah, I wasn't going to include that because we tend to be more celebrity focused, but yes, that was just yeah. All right. Well, with that, Tom wants to talk to you about
Well, good news. Ouija and Brian Judd are just outside of Fresno right now.
really?
Yeah, so we're talking 3 hours away.
Well, let's see.
And with the way Brian drives, it could be faster.
Yep, indeed. Under 3 hours now.
Yeah, because I heard that he could cause scary dreams.
Yep, and that's without even trying. That's like just passing someone by and they'll dream of him scarily. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I can get back.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. So let's see. This week, RuPaul's Drag Race. They did The Sound of Ruzik.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, it's a RuPaul musical. So what they did was Mariah was anxious to become a nun or maybe marry a hot guy, but whatever. And so she's going to enter herself into the big singing competition, and and so she gets involved with the Von Trapp singers, and as part of their group, while the nuns and the baronesses are they're the big, competitors for this singing competition. So it's all about singing competition. So it was really fun episode. Um, for those, I know you haven't seen it, but Plasma won again. She played Mariah, and she was flawless. Although the head Mother Superior and the Baroness herself were both really good as well. Mariah, of course, was in every scene, part of just about every musical number, so she deserved it. But the interesting thing is that on the show, they're not she's the only one that's won 2 episodes now, and no one's talking about her as a front runner. It's very interesting because I watched the pit stop that's on right after RuPaul plays, and and it was with Tracy Mattel, and I can't think of his name. The guy, he's the gay country singer that wears a veil over his mouth
Oh,
and a mask. Yeah,
yeah,
I know you know this.
and
Anyway,
it just went right out of my head.
it's okay. People are yelling at us right now what his name is.
It's it's actually our friend Ouija's favorite.
Okay. Well, anyway, they were talking about it. They were the ones on Pit Stop talking about it. But what was interesting is that I've been watching all the Pit Stop episodes, and even though, like I said, Plasma's won 2 episodes, no one's talking about her as any kind of a front runner, which I thought was interesting.
Huh. Orville Peck, by the way.
Or Orville Peck, that's right. Yeah. Who's actually very good friends with Trixie Mattel.
Yes, and
He was on her show, on her I guess it's her syndicated show. I'm not sure. I can't remember what it was. The Trixie Motel was what it was all about, setting it up. But and there's a new season coming out, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So very excited about that.
They do it and make it nicer.
Well, I think they'll probably be dealing with other things that are going on, and maybe show us a few nice pool parties that they're having.
Oh, well.
Maybe they got their bar, their whatchamacallit, their liquor license.
Of course, one of the things that's sad is that this season they won't have our why is my brain doing this? Call Me Cat, little guy, Leslie Jordan, he won't be on it this time.
It's true.
Yeah.
Unless they have a bigger budget and they are bring him on computer wise,
Oh, well,
hologramming him, maybe
they did that to Princess Leia.
Yeah. So let's see. This week on The Traitor, it was very exciting. Well, it's just really been exciting. They got rid of Parvati, who was another one of the traitors, leaving the one traitor by themselves, and now she's going to bring in somebody else as a new traitor, because you got to have more than one traitor, otherwise, the show's over. Once all the traitors are found out, it's over. And like last season, we didn't get down to the traitors until the very last few episodes. It's really interesting to see how these people are figuring out who the traitors are, even though the traitors are acting completely different from each other, but they automatically assume they're traitors for some reason. And I'm not getting that. That's the one thing I am missing, is how they're deducting this. So anyway, True Detective with Jodie Foster over on HBO Max, or just Max. It is a super good show. I don't know that I still don't know what the fuck's going on. They're trying to find out why these guys, how they were murdered, and by who they were murdered, and why they were murdered. And all it keeps spelling out is paranormal or aliens.
That's what I've heard. Our friend Michael Sage is very into the show,
and which I'm perfectly fine with, but it's surprising me that it's going to be, if it is that, because we the True Detective was always just a detective, not a ghost hunter, but It's turning out to be kind of that way, so that's kind of fun. Let's see. Ghost is back on CBS or on Paramount Plus if you have that streaming service. And the big thing that ended last season was somebody got sucked off at the end.
What?
Um, which sucked off is what happens when you get taken up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't realize that what that really means in regular life. Well, actually, probably a couple of them do. They're old enough or young enough that they do, but
Mhm.
the 300 400-year-old characters, they probably don't know that sucked off means, you know.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, and it turned out it was Flower, the hippie got sucked off. So, which means that you get to go to heaven or whatever the next thing is, but that's what happened. So, it was sad to see her go, but I wished it was the guy with the arrow in through his neck, but I'll
Eh.
take her because she's pretty irritating as well.
Hmm.
Uh, the Connors are back on. If I didn't mention it last week, along with Abbott Elementary,
Hmm.
um, both shows are good. Good again. They're holding up.
Good.
Uh, I did see American Horror Stories. This is the individual hour-long episodes, and the one I saw was called Daphne,
Hmm.
and it was all about AI. And so this guy gets an AI to help him, like an assistant,
Hmm.
and he's like, the AI is going, "How can I help you?" Nothing. I got to call my mother. I hate calling my mother. I can call your mother for you. And he goes, yeah, but she's just not going to listen to you. And then all of a sudden it's his voice going, "Hi mom, how you doing? I think your mother will be just fine." But she's going to want you to call every day. Well, I'll call every day. So so basically he gets so tied up with this. And of course, the if he does anything, the computer gets jealous
Hmm.
of him. Ultimately, uh, when he tries to get rid of the computer, you know, basically fucks him over and can change, because the AI can, do his voice, so we can get some nasty voicemail messages. He can do a video that it's him saying all sorts of horrible things, and it's not. So it was a fun little, AI kind of episode, and you would have really liked the lead. He was really cute. He looks like um, Jackson from uh, Call Me Cat.
Oh, Cheyenne Jackson.
Diane Jackson. Yeah, he looks a lot like him.
Hmm.
At first, I thought it was him, and then I looked at him. I go, "Oh, so he's the guy that I always think is Cheyenne Jackson." Okay. Anyway, it was fun. And then I saw two movies this week. I saw one more goal. It's not one more goal. It's our next goal. The next goal wins. Something like that. It's about the American Samoan soccer team and how they want to go to the world. They went to the World Cup and they lost 31-0, and so and the fact is, in competition they've never scored a goal, so they bring in some loser guy who's had a meltdown on television. That's how they always bring in new coaches, by the way. It
Hmm.
is the way. That's the only way you bring in a new coach to a losing team. Disney's done it
Eh.
twice with the hockey team, and with the basketball team, which was John Stamos, and somebody else was just. It's like that's the only way a bad team can get a pretty decent coach is when he's ruined himself on social media.
Hmm.
Um, but so it's about this team, and he comes in, and they go, "We don't want to win. We just want to score a goal in major competition, so we're not the big losers anymore." And so, and that's all about the guy adjusting to island life, and the island life, which is all, um, hey, hang loose. It's not that big deal. We can still have a good time. It's like, not if you want to get a goal. You've got to listen to me. So it's a blending of the two. It's a decent movie. It's on Disney and Hulu right now. And if you like Samoan men or men from the Pacific Islands,
Hmm.
um, there's a lot of really pretty people. So anyway, then finally I saw Oppenheimer. this weekend. Uh, Missed it in theaters because I just didn't think I could sit for 3 hours. And now I realize I probably should have seen it in theaters
Mm.
because between Brad Pitt bitching and moaning and us getting up, oh, let's make dinner. Okay, we're only a half hour into the movie. Well, we'll watch it in half-hour chunks. It'll be more fun that way, which is exactly what we did. I think the last hour we actually saw all the way through, but everything else was either in 15-minute increments or half-hour increments.
Mm.
So I think I missed a lot, but Robert Downey Jr. was sensational in it, really was.
Mm.
Um, and oh, actually, I mean, everybody was really good. I can't even, I can't even believe, and I didn't look it up, but I hope Christopher Nolan did this from a like a book or something because he wrote the screenplay, but it was so. I mean, they had three different timelines going through the whole show. And the way they kind of did that was they did one was in black and white, so that was showing further back.
Mm.
Uh, then they did kind of in color, which was present, and then they did future. You know, it was all over the place, but it all made sense and melded together once you kind of figured out the the kind of way they were doing it. It was easy to figure out, but wow. I mean, I can't imagine someone sitting down going, okay, now we'll do this scene and then we'll jump to this timeline. And I'm like, oh my God. So, and of course, at the British Academy Awards or whatever they call it, British Awards for acting, television, and BAFTA, yeah. Oppenheimer won Best Picture, actor, supporting actor, director, and I think no, it didn't get screenplay. I don't think it got screenplay, and it picked up some other um, small, well, technical awards. I don't want to call them smaller because I mean, you
Yeah.
look at the production design on that, and the cinematography, and the film editing, the music, um, all were Oscar worthy. I just found it kind of boring because it was so long. And
Mm.
I was having trouble for a while figuring out what was going where and who was who and why they were there. And like that last hour was, moving really well for me.
Mm.
Because it was all about, they had to blame somebody for killing all those Japanese people. And so they wanted to blame the guy who built the bomb, not the people who dropped the bomb, which I thought
Right.
was interesting. But I mean, you have to blame somebody when something bad happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's got to take the blame. And um, so anyway, they cleared everything. Don't worry. It was funny. They did have a guy playing Albert Einstein. So that was kind of fun. He had really bad hair, uh, as one would expect.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and yeah, it was good. It was, I was really shocked at how much I did like it,
Hmm.
even
Cool.
though it was a little boring. But that was probably my fault. Then let's see. Otherwise, my week has consisted of spending my time with Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
which, I mean, who doesn't love that?
Right.
All at this age, he's grumpy and yeah, very grumpy, and stiff as a board. I started him on some CBDs, and it
Good.
seemed like after he takes the CBDs, he gets like wild hair
Mm.
and wants to, run around the backyard. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess if he's less rickety old man.
Yes.
So are you having the same with your CBDs?
We haven't given it to her for a long time. It really didn't seem like it was working at all. So I don't know whether we just were getting it from a company that was just more of a sham or what it was, but yeah, we just stopped. So
Well, otherwise, that's it for except for what we've watched together.
cool.
I
Okay.
guess we can approach that.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So Joey, let me
Uh,
go back to my notes. I don't want to read yours. Okay.
I will accept this rose. For those of you who aren't watching the video, I'm holding a beautiful rose from Joey.
Well, that's not even a real rose. So
Whatever. I'm sure the ones that they, well, I don't
those are real.
know, roses, but
So
anyway,
anyway, they're in Malta right now.
yeah.
And so the first thing is a group date where Joey's shirtless as a knight. This is Knights of the Round Table kind of thing, even though it's Malta, but knight they're trying to the girls are trying to earn their knighthood, and so they've got sausages on a string on a wheel, and they spin the wheel, and the girls are supposed to catch the sausages in their mouths. Okay, come on. I
Yeah, that was
I have been to, like drunk gay parties, gay, like weekends where they didn't do anything that gross.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of gross. But um once they actually achieved the getting the sausages, watching them devour the sausages, I think probably put a scare into all the producers that thought, oh, won't this be funny watching women put these sausages in their mouths? But when they start ripping off the head, I think that they got a different idea.
Yeah.
That was the good part.
Ugh.
So the double date was Sydney and Maria. And of course, from past weekends or weeks, we saw Sydney is the C word
The
that,
crazy. That crazy, yes.
yeah, crazy,
Uh, uh,
who is obsessed with hating Maria, who just is I mean, she didn't really do anything bad. But the Sydney jumps on it, and then Maria keeps trying to defend herself and digging her hole bigger. And it's just
mm,
the whole thing is really, it pisses me off because none of these other bitches who know what's going on has not gone to the producers or gone to Joey and say, Sydney is a C word, crazy.
yeah,
And she's Maria's kind of clunky, but she hasn't done anything maliciously.
right.
Now, Sydney, on the other hand, has been a malicious C word crazy for the entire time that she's been here. She needs to go, not Maria.
Right. I mean, and she wasn't even like it got to the point where she wasn't even there to spend time with Joey or anything. Uh,
She was just there to hate on Maria.
yeah, it was all obsession on Maria.
Yeah, it was kind of scary in a way, because um, you know, I've seen people that have tried to blame me for shit that I didn't do,
Mhm.
and everyone believes that I did, and I don't understand why.
Yeah.
So I understand where Maria's coming from. Well, good news is Joey said, okay, well, I'm giving Maria the rose because you know what, Sydney, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
And so she's, stunned, wait, just a minute. I got to climb up on the cross before I can go on. I'm just too upset.
Uh,
And so great. That's exactly what we were hoping for. Get her out of there.
yeah. But
And I loved how everybody gasped when they took her luggage away.
I know, like they were so surprised, the poor Sydney. But and then the thing that got me is that then May or Leah or whatever her name is,
Oh yeah.
she just all of a sudden turned and Maria was the devil to her. And then we saw at the end of the show, who was the other? Was it Cass? There was another one that was just like all of a sudden like Maria must go. Eh, what are these, and flat out lying, not even like stretching the truth, but like
Right.
flat out lying.
Yeah, well, and so there were two episodes this week. So Monday's episode, Maria gets the rose
Mhm.
from the date, and so she's automatically staying while all the other girls are just the new ones that's got a problem is Jess. She's the one that's got a problem as well because Maria spent time with Joey when she's already got a rose. What
Right,
is it?
exactly. Yeah.
And I agree that's kind of tight, but I don't think she was there for a half an hour.
No.
Didn't seem like it, at least.
Like,
Anyway,
I
so
always am suspicious that the producers tell them to Okay, go interrupt the date. Yeah.
So the second episode, they went to Spain,
Hmm.
uh, and right away on the first date, Maria gets the rose, so she's safe again, which makes all of the girls incensed. But I would say instead of worrying about Maria, you better worry about your own ass, because he's obviously really into Maria, and you guys not doing shit about it isn't going to get you guys any further in this goddamn show. So you need to get your shit together, girls. That's what I would have said. Come on. Okay, 2 weeks, Malta and Spain. She gets the rose. She gets the rose, not any of you.
Nope.
She does. So come on, bitches, get your shit together. That's all I have to say. And I am looking forward to um, the Women Tell All, because I want to hear what Sydney comes up with and if anybody calls her on it.
Yeah.
If not, fly me down there. I'll call her on it.
Uh-huh.
I will. I will. I'm tired of these guys being afraid to upset the apple cart on this, because I remember what was it? The last one was um, I'm not sure if it was the Golden Bachelor that was the problem, or if it was the Bachelorette, but we had another situation like this, and at the end they end up looking like, oh, you poor thing, everyone feels sorry for me, and I'm like, fucking bitch was an asshole to everybody, and now she's are they just doing it because, well, it's easier just to say it was us, and then this poor thing can get back to her life? I don't know. I don't
Mm,
know. It drives me crazy
yeah.
when they do, and that they never call them on these things. I would call these bitches on the floor for this stuff.
Yeah, that's I like the Golden Bachelor one. A lot of those women were just so much more real.
Well, they're first of all, they're mature.
Yeah, but there was one of them too that was just like, if I'm remembering right, there was one of them that was just like, "You led me on, you broke my heart." Oh
Well, yeah,
no! And
that's
I'm
oh,
like,
that's that. Okay, that's who it is. The woman out of nowhere, because he didn't pick her. It was the last girl. Remember the two last girls, and
right?
he
Oh
didn't
right,
take her.
yeah.
And so she's like ready to kick off the chair after she got the noose around her neck, and everyone's like, oh, you poor thing, but it's like, it's the game.
Yeah, you know
And
what you're going in for. Why are you? He didn't mislead you at all. You signed up for this anyway. So,
yeah.
and then feud, the Capote versus the Swans. And this last episode, I think it was episode 4, was hard to watch, at least for me. I mean, and I'm not feeling, the thing about the first feud that they did, it like there wasn't an episode that didn't just leave me going, no. And with this one, I'm just like, I feel like it's out of sequence or time or something. It's like we just walk into what I feel is pretty much the end of the whatever the series was. They just cut out all the first episodes. They're like, here's the last ones where they all have the big falling out and then make up and whatever, and everybody's dying. It's just death and tragedy. He's drinking himself to death and letting somebody beat him up, and the other one's dying of cancer, and it's just like, uh, I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something, and there's just not cattiness and deliciousness that the first two episodes of this sucked me into it. I was like, yes, let's go. And now I'm just like,
Well, it's a good thing we've got the beautiful gay bear couple on Halo to
okay, so you
back
don't want to
us.
say anything about feud?
Well, it's just, I mean, it's pretty much that. I mean, I even watched an episode, I mean, a thing on YouTube about what the real situation was, and it's exactly what they're doing. It's
But
it's not like it's not like this 30-minute documentary told me anything that they're not saying already. Um, it's just, I just keep getting floored with all the actresses they have in the show.
oh, I know. The cast is brilliant.
I mean,
I
I
just
mean,
the
even
fact,
Molly Ringwald is in it, that's crazy.
and I can't, and she's so good, I can't even tell which one is her. I've looked it up twice now. Anyway,
Well, yeah, it's a fantastic looking, fantastic acting.
yes.
It's just, I think it's because there's too many characters.
Maybe, I don't know, there's just something like I just feel like I'm missing the in between bits that tell me what the fuck is going on half the time. It just
And
feels
and
like,
and
yeah.
like the one time that was really hard for me was when he threw the party
Uh-huh.
and the one woman showed up with her son that wasn't invited,
Yes.
and that he just was such an asshole to her. I
Mhm.
mean, maybe she deserved it. I'm not saying she didn't, but so he has to do it so publicly and so maliciously.
Right.
Um, and that's when it gets hard to watch.
And
That
there,
that was
did you see in the documentary whether that was real? Because I heard some people, some places were saying that that wasn't real, and the whole documentary thing angle that they took wasn't real. That there never really was a documentary like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that. I don't
Yeah.
remember saying anything about the documentary. It was mostly just who the women were and what their how they got involved with Truman and what they were doing, how they solved their problems. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I will definitely keep watching, but I just
It's too many characters is why it gets confusing, because even though we know it's Diane Lane, we know it's um, uh, the different actresses for the
mhm,
most part who they are, and trying to keep their characters straight, and who did what and who's married to who, and
right.
um, why they how they met him and why they hate him, and because
Mhm,
some of them don't hate him at all because they don't care what he said about the woman who killed herself.
right.
Doesn't care about her.
Yeah.
And, that's fine.
Mm,
But and isn't that the same woman though that was at the party too?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
see, that's what I mean. The party comes after her funeral. So because her funeral was in the second episode, the party was the third episode. And yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of like Oppenheimer, that if you're not paying very close attention, you don't know what year it is, because it's the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, and until they get into the mid 70s, the looks aren't going to change.
right. Yeah, I
So,
didn't even know that some of this it was out of sequence. It's that weird, and I'm watching it, so I mean, I'm not just like, having it on in the background, so I don't know. All right, so yes, Halo season 2, the latest episode, which was episode 3, I believe,
yeah,
had it it's so hit and miss because there's parts of it that I still don't really totally fully understand what exactly is going on.
yeah.
Yeah, and yet there's other parts of it that I'm like, okay, this I understand. This you've fleshed this out. I get this. But this other stuff, I don't understand how it goes. I don't understand who these characters are. But I will say that they had an amazing bear couple, like gay bear couple, how and she the one of the actresses, went into their life and had dinner with them and stuff, and they were so loving and so cool. And I was like, in a show like this, to see that type of re- not only representation, but not have just like two regular gay, thin, somebody that you would think was gay. Uh, it was really nice and fun to see.
Hey,
I
what
like,
did they just do in This Is Us or The Last of Us? They had a gay bear couple. It's the new thing.
I
Bringing in,
really down
bringing
with.
the because the couple like that doesn't come across as a bunch of Nelly fags.
Yeah,
And so in a show where you've got to defend yourself, the one thing you don't need are girls going all the time. It's
uh,
you need somebody that's going to grab a gun and kill some people. And so that's why the gay bear comes into play, even though most of the gay bears I know are just as Nelly as any queen. But they give off a look that says, don't fuck with me. And
Yeah.
that's what you need in these kind of shows. And if you're going to have a gay character and you want a tough gay character, it either has to be a bull dyke or it has to be a bear.
Yep, exactly. But I'm not opposed, and I'm gonna keep watching the show. I like it, and the action is good. I just wish that they would stop. It's episode 3. By 4, if you're still doing a bunch of esoteric things that the audience has to keep guessing for, just whatever. You're gonna lose people.
Well, and one thing I would suggest to everyone, even if you're watching this you're watching it very intently,
Mhm.
unless you're binging, and even if you do binge, do not think, do not skip the um the recap. And I'll tell you why. Because the recap sometimes will take you back to something that happened in season 1,
Mhm.
not the last episode you just watched. It'll take you into season 1 and it'll say, "Oh, this is this character's coming back." And if you don't know that, you're going to be going, "Who is this? This person looks familiar, but I don't remember him." And it's because you didn't watch the recap.
Yeah.
Watch the recap even if you're binging, because you never know when they're pulling something from uh 2 or 3 episodes before or even a season before.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
uh just a little something that you need to think about when you're watching these things. Because I've done it too, where I'm like, I don't know who this is. Went back and watched the recap and went, oh, they told me who that was, so I should have watched the recap. Okay.
Yeah, on the stuff that's weekly, I am making sure to watch the recap
Oh
because,
yeah, definitely the weekly stuff.
yeah, because there's just some stuff like with this, like with Halo. If I didn't watch the recap this week, I would have forgotten half the shit that apparently I should have known to watch this episode. So,
Right. And I mean, because when you're watching like Roseanne,
mhm,
or no, the Connors, I'm sorry. If you're watching the Connors, you know that when the episode ends,
mhm,
everything's solved somewhat.
right,
And unless it's a part 2, we're not going to see this storyline continue. I mean, all the storylines are continuing, but whatever the big event for this, like last week's episode of the Connors, they were using the mother's uh Jackie's mother's credit card and running up bills for everything because she's going to be dying any second now. So when she dies, the credit companies will just excuse all the charges.
mhm,
Um, but come to find out that they called the mother, and the mother goes, "Oh no, I didn't make any of those charges." So now they're sending, now it's a fraud thing, and it's like, oh, so we will probably see the fraud thing in the next, possibly in the next episode.
yeah,
But other than that, you don't need a recap on a weekly. What's happening on Abbott Elementary. You can catch within the first like one scene, you're going to know what's going on.
right,
So, but it's these intricate shows like Halo and all this, Invasion and all these sci-fi shows that are either based on a computer show or a movie or a book or something. Very confusing. So you have to watch the recap. I'm sorry. I've just
no, it's true. Well, one of the things that's getting me right now is that, how like they'll go through something where like every show that's going on will like suddenly blame Tachyon, or there's always like the latest something that they are blaming everything on in like every show, sci-fi show, and now the new one is AI. Like every fucking show
Sure.
and movie out there, the big bad is the AI, and I'm just like, come on, can't one of you just have some originality with stuff?
Well, the nice thing about AI is that it's a character that takes it takes a voiceover, and you don't have to write anything else for it.
Yeah,
You write the screenplay, but there's no character development. You don't have to find out their origin story like you do with a villain. This is nice and easy. Everyone's scared of AI. Go for it.
right.
It
Yeah.
doesn't bother me. I mean, it's funny because I remember back in, I think it was 1972, my parents every weekend we went to the movies, usually Sunday. That was our church.
Yeah.
And we saw a show called The Forbin Project, and
Hmm.
it was about these supercomputers. It was a supercomputer in America and a supercomputer in Russia that they decided to break the to say we are, we're allies. We need to share our information with each other. So they shared the information. They hooked the computers together, and the computers realized that humans were useless and let's get rid of them. So they've been doing AI since, long, long ago.
Yeah, I mean, Beeger and like all it's been around. It's
Yeah.
just that now they're using it like for every freaking movie and TV show. It's like that's the new thing that this big scary big bad. And I'm just, it's kind of like when they have The Witcher and The Circle on, and I'm like you, going back and forth, going, wait,
Wait, no, The Circle is the
what's
show
that
where that show where they're in the hotel together.
Circle in The Witcher?
No, Circle on Netflix where they're all in separate apartments and they're doing silly things. What's
Oh,
the you got there's a Circle uh that's also a sci-fi.
uh, I am going to double check right now because you know what? I may have completely just written down the wrong name. The one that's all esoteric.
Maybe is it The Wheel?
The wheel. That's what I meant. The
No, The
circle,
Circle.
wheel, it's all the same. But
Not really. Dating show. Not
yeah. So yeah. So the wheel and The Witcher. Half the time I was like, what?
They were exactly the same. But if you remember, okay, so AI is this 5 years ago, everything was zombies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We go through
Then
these
and
where
then and then
freaking
10 years before that, it was vampires.
yes,
Sometimes vampires and werewolves together. There was a lot of that.
and that was hot.
So I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, people they're okay. I want to say it's the creative people, but it's really not. It's the studio people that go, let's do it. What is it now? Is it zombies anymore? No, it's computers, AI. Let's do an AI thing. Let's do that.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna do that now. And they love it, because they want what's popular because that's what's selling. Until
Right.
that doesn't sell anymore, we're going to see AI villains until you can't breathe right.
Mhm.
But hopefully they'll get more interesting as the way they do it. Like, I'd love to have a stalker where they think they have a stalker, but the stalker really is their AI, and it's because they brought it into the house, and it watches everything they do from their smart TV and their computer and all of their you know Amazon shit and their Apple shit. It knows everything and everywhere these people go because it's the great stalker. That's what I want to. Let's do that. But the people are afraid of it, and then they realize that the stalker is actually their computer, and they just shut the house down, turn off the power, and the computer is now stopped.
Hmm.
So, something as simple as that. I wouldn't mind that.
All right. All right. Well, let's see. I don't think we have anything else that we're watching mutually at the moment. So into my week, though starting off with The Wheel, not The Circle, but The Wheel season two, I finished that up. And the first half or so of it, I was kind of bored. Even my mom, who I swear it was at least 4 or 5 times, if not more, she watched the first season and just loved it. And even she turned off like the second season and went, eh. But toward the end, the last 3 episodes or so, finally shit started happening, and it got much better. By the end of the finale, I was like, yeah, that's freaking awesome. If you had had this momentum through the rest of the show, I would have paid more attention.
Well, and that's what's wrong with all these shows lately. I mean, I don't think I ever finished the Lord of the Rings, the new Lord of the Rings show that's on Prime. I don't
Yeah.
know if I got through it all because it was too many characters. I didn't care about most of them. It was, it's confusing. Yeah, and I wasn't having any fun with it at all. So,
Right. And you
that's the,
have to have fun with it.
yeah, but you're right. They all start out slow as fuck,
Hmm.
and then they pick up. So they've got this big finale, but if you can get to the finale is the problem.
Right. Yeah, it's like I watched Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. I think that's what it was called. It's
Oh, how was that?
the latest Mission Impossible. It okay, so it's again, it felt like what we were just talking about. It has really good action scenes. I mean, when the action was going, I was glued to it. I was actually, there were points of it where I was actually kind of clenched up, like on the edge of my seat, like, how are they going to get out of this one? But when they weren't doing that, when they were doing like the strategies and the telling the what's the word, all the storyline and all that shit, um they just kept it. Not only were the scenes drawn out to the point where I'm like, okay, you lost me already. This is a 4-minute scene that should have been like 45 seconds, and they kept repeating shit. Like they would have 3 or 4 scenes spread out through the movie where they were just saying the same stuff over and over. So as far as that type of thing, it the action scenes, watch it for the action. Watch it for the action, you'll really like it. But as
Well,
far as the like, you're not going to get any great performances.
it did terrible at the box office.
And honestly, I'm not surprised, but honestly, it's sad with all the work that they put into because he did his own stunts. They actually built cameras, special cameras, and new ways of shooting things and everything. And he did his own stunts, which, normally I'd be like, well, that's cool. But with this one, watching the behind the scenes stuff, it actually was really neat.
So
So
they taught the world a
I'm
new way
sad
to
the movie
dream.
wasn't better.
Yeah.
Oh, and also it has one of my favorites, Scotty from the Star Trek movies. What's
Well,
his
yeah,
name?
he's been in all of them. Simon Pegg.
Yeah, and he was great. They were good casts. Even Tom Selleck. Oh my goodness, Tom Cruise. I mean, he was fine. It just, when it wasn't action, it was lacking. So sad. But I would say if you want to just toke up like you do and have a good evening watching an action movie, it's not bad.
Well, now I'm looking right now, and I had heard that they had changed the name of the second movie because this is a part two, part one that you watched.
Hmm.
Part two is coming out, and I heard that they were changing the name because they were afraid that nobody would come and see part two because nobody went to see part one. So we'll see what happens there.
I'm really surprised that it
Oh my
did.
God, they moved it out another year. It's coming out in 25 now. It
Oh
was supposed to
wow.
come out this year.
Maybe they're gonna like try to add a plot to it, because really it was, again, it was AI, the scary AI thing, but I want to like this all the way. I want to say, yes, I really like this film, but I can't give it that 5 stars. So anyway, moving on. Um, I watched Tracker, the second episode. It's on Paramount Plus, and it stars that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man. Mm,
From just was it Just Us?
yeah. Uh, This Is Us.
This Is Us, yeah.
Yes. From him, and also from Bad Moms Christmas. He was the one with the
He was the
gigantic,
Santa.
yeah, everything.
But it
Uh,
was funny because I said to Sean, well, did you heard he got a job? And I said, he goes, who got a job? And I go, the guy from This Is Us. He finally got an acting job. He's a lead in a new show on Paramount Plus. And
hmm.
he's like, what? And I go, the guy that's, the actor on This Is Us, well, he finally got a lead. and
Yeah.
he's an actor. What? I had so he was so gaslit. It was scary. It was scary.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ty Ty Swindell. Yeah.
Now, are the stories any good, or is it just he's cute?
Okay, that's where the problem is. Okay, so you have I mean he is absolutely fine for the actor. The acting and everything is is decent for what they have. But man, do the scripts just oh, this is like going back to oh, you have a lovely smile. Your lip is working. I don't know. You got
No,
going on.
no, just
Yeah.
trying.
Okay. Well, it's yay. Uh, you shouldn't have a pipe, a corn pog. Corn. Anyway, y'all have to watch the video for this part. Anyway, it's like oof, it was like 70s show. And I'm not talking the 70s shows. I mean like the action shows in the 70s where you're just like, well, it's a good thing there's nothing else on these three channels because that's what made this one a hit. It could be a hit. It could be a really fun ride, but right now they're trying to make him into this big bad detective thing, and the dialogue is just horrible. Like this second he goes into this cult to get this guy out of this cult, and they make him sit and talk to the cult leader, and the whole time they're asking him all these questions trying to make this big mystery about his father and his father's death, and nobody cares. Like just rescue the guy already. And they need better writers. They really need, or they need writers that, well, okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be nice to the writers, but no, they just need better writers because this could be a great show, but they got to get their shit together. Um, I rewatched Encanto and absolutely loved it. I loved it more this time. I understood, you know,
It's really a show that you need to watch more than once.
yeah,
The
it
first
really
time
is.
I didn't know what was going, I wasn't paying any attention.
Mm.
I didn't like the songs. I
Oh,
didn't like the characters. And then everybody loved the show. And so I went back and watched it again, and I knew more that time at that point.
right.
And so I got who everybody was. I actually was listening to the songs.
Mhm.
And then but that was after it became that ridiculously huge hit.
Yeah, yeah. It's so fun, and I'm glad I went back and watched it a second time. Um, Brilliant cast. I love the songs. I mean, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is very hit and miss with me per, the songs are just amazing. Great lyrics. So, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's worth it. So another movie, the last one that I'll talk about here today is that I finally forced myself to watch Moana. And the thing is with me is that there will be times when I'm like, I know I'm going to end up liking a movie or really loving a movie, and I will end up putting it off and not watching it until whatever moment finally says watch it. And this week I watched it and I loved it. It was a really fun little film. Um, and you've seen it, of course, right?
Hundreds of times.
100, really?
Well, no, we got really heavy into it.
Yeah,
It was because it was during the pandemic, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And so we were traveling to Hawaii a lot, and so there was a lot of the history there, and the music. Lin Manuel Miranda again wrote all the music, and
Really? I didn't know that.
yeah, well, he worked with two other people, but yes,
Hmm.
it was him again,
Cool.
and I loved the show.
Cool. Yeah, I really did too. I think I'm probably gonna give it a little bit and then go watch it again just to kind of absorb more. But it was a really fun watch. And so if you haven't seen it, it's definitely go watch it. It's good. Um, I think there's another one that I'm gonna have to watch. What is it? What is the one with the red-headed warrior brave? Something like
Brave, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's one that I haven't seen. And I haven't seen Elemental yet either. I keep like, I don't know if I really want to watch it or not, but
Yeah, those are those yeah. Elemental was much better than Brave. Brave got me really confused because
oh,
I didn't expect you know, that Emma Thompson's going to turn into a bear. I didn't get that. So so yeah, there's it's kind of confusing show.
yeah,
Uh let's see, what did I want to do here? I wanted to
I want to watch Red Panda again.
oh really? I mean that was okay.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing is, I've been standing at the edge of the water
Oh,
long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I
yeah.
wished I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water no matter how hard I try.
And the thing that's so funny is that I recognize some of the songs because there's a group called No Resolve, and it does covers of Disney songs in like heavy metal and hard rock and stuff like that. And I follow them, love them, and a lot of the songs that they introduced me to were from Moana, so I already knew them. I just,
Yeah, I have it on I have it on my computer, my iPad or my phone, maybe both. So when I'm in Hawaii and I'm sitting at the edge of the water, I can listen to songs. And because it's got I love the song where they're traveling on the it's the group number where they're on the boats at the end and at earlier on.
yeah,
Oh, wonderful songs.
yeah,
Um, and that and then Maui's song, the thank you song. And I
yeah.
even I used to hate the crab song, but now I like it.
See, that was the one part of the movie that I just was like, wow, they could have cut this and I'd been fine with it.
You'll like him after a couple more tries.
Okay. I'll see. Okay, so advice. Who the hell does this come from? I think this might come from, I don't know where this came from. It's one of them, probably somebody else's mother. 3 years ago, I did something that my wife considered potentially unforgivable. It was
Uh-oh.
it wasn't an affair or
Oh.
illegal or violent, and it isn't related to finances. But it made a permanent impact on our lives and it detonated a bomb in our marriage. I have apologized in every way I can imagine. I have volunteered to go to couples counseling. She's not interested. I have asked her if there are concrete ways I can make amends, and she said if she has a barometer for how she will tell when I'm sorry enough. And she told me that the potential repair is just a lot more time. It's already been 3 years. The idea of divorcing, we have 2 kids and we've been together half our lives since college, seems unbearable. Do you have any advice? My advice, separate.
What
If she
was
can't forgive you after 3 years, whatever you did, and it's none of that,
but it's what did he do?
well, he's not saying, but it was something that she considered potentially unforgivable. I don't know, gave away a pet, because I would consider that fucking unforgivable. I would have left within the next couple days.
Or put the animal down?
Well, I didn't want to go there, but that's another thing I was thinking. So,
Well, I see. At this point, I'm trying to think what could it possibly be. It wasn't illegal. It wasn't a affair. It wasn't violence, and it
yeah,
wasn't financial. So that it's not like they blew the money at the casinos. It's
said that their kids were ugly. I don't
well,
know. I don't
yeah,
know. But whatever it is, if it's something that is potentially unforgivable, it's been 3 years, she will not forgive you. You're going to start getting, I don't know. I just leave.
okay.
And I don't mean like a full flat out like divorce, blah, 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 but at least a separation and see where it leads from then because, yeah,
Separations usually don't lead to anywhere but the end.
no,
So,
that's probably where it needs to go.
well, I well,
I mean, if she can't forgive you, then neither of you are going to be happy the rest of your lives. Why stay together just because so you can be miserable because you've been together forever?
Okay, well, let's see what somebody else's mother thinks.
Well, what do you say?
I don't know what the problem is, so I can't give any advice.
Okay.
I mean, you're telling me, oh, I done something that's terrible, but I won't tell you what it is. Well, then I won't tell you what I think.
Uh, maybe he
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can't give advice on something I don't know.
okay.
That's like asking me to oh, what do you think? How do you think this food tastes? But you can't taste it. You
Mhm.
can't taste it, but how do you think it tastes? Well, I
I
think it probably tastes like nothing because I can't taste it.
I don't disagree with you. All I know is what we got here.
I know. That's all I'm saying. This is my way of telling you what my point is when you sit there and go, well, what do you think? Well, that's not a good enough answer.
Trying to make sure that you had the option to chime in.
Oh, yeah.
Dear
Okay. Everybody is at home right now going, yeah, Tom really likes to hide what he thinks. Yeah. Really have to apply that. You really have to, come on, tell us what you think. Come on.
just have to pull it out of you. All right. Oh, the thing about time is that it actually doesn't heal all wounds. During the time it takes your wife to forgive you, you may become resentful, and the two of you may become disconnected. And then she's over it. The relationship that once existed won't even be there anymore. If your wife won't talk to someone, you need to ask her to get specific about what a whole lot of time might look like in years, months, or years, and compare that to how long you think you can stand to hang in there. You might have to make the choice that seems unbearable right now, knowing that it will ultimately be more bearable than remaining in limbo and paying for whatever you did for the rest of your life. I have to
I
mostly
mean,
agree. Of
I
course,
agree
not
with
knowing what the fuck it is, you know.
right. I agree with what they're saying, but it's still, I mean, I can't give a review of a movie I haven't seen yet.
Hmm. Well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Chubs, Timothy asks, when is the last time you were really surprised by something? 2016, when somebody was elected.
Well, that didn't surprise me. I'm trying to think. There was something just recently that surprised me, and I was like,
Smart.
it was probably either a movie or show I was watching, and it ended in a way that I was like very excited about, but totally did not expect it. That's probably the last time I had. It was something I was really surprised with. Um, yeah.
I like it when they can pull out a surprise at the end that I'm not seeing coming, sort of. I mean, movie wise. Okay. Hey Chubbs, Timothy asks, can you tell us a little backstory about your podcast intro? And do you know the queen who says, this has been a, for fuck's sake, production? Okay, so this is a Hey Chubbs question. So I guess it's about our podcast intro. Um, I wanted something that really represented us and positivity for Chubs Gone Wild, a party song. And then I asked Tom to say some stuff, and well, he just thought that was dirty. Does
Yeah,
that answer the question? That question?
yeah. Well, you had three questions that you asked me, and then you said call back and leave a message for me,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how that came about.
Yeah.
And I remember we coming up with the title was it's because everybody had you have to have a funny or something that's going to catch people's when they are scrolling through, and we figured Chubbs Gone Wild was funny because I was selling girls and guys going wild as
Yeah.
porn. So, well, that'll work.
Right.
And
Uh, our original title was No Fats, No Femmes, and people didn't get it. You
well, that's because it's horrible.
took it too seriously. So I was just like, okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
Chubs Gone Wild was a good choice. As far as the queen who says this has been a for fuck's sake production, that is Jenny the Pizza Babe, who was in charge of the Freak Network many years ago, well over a decade or more ago. And she has always been, she recorded that for me back for the original Spanking B. Arthur days. So I've always used that as just our for fuck's sake production. Because it's tongue in cheek. We're doing this for fun, you know? So I hope that answers those questions. And thank you, Timothy, for writing in and asking. All right, well, what's in your lunchbox? I'm almost offended about what Mr. Moose sent in because it looks so good. Starting with a beautiful piece of pizza. Are you ready for this piece of pizza here?
I'm already looking at it.
Uh, while eating his bowl of Cheerios this morning, hubby turned on the news. He yelled, "You've got to see this." They announced that it is National Pizza Day, and they were comparing New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut pizzas. All looked so delicious. It got us primed for our normal weekly pizza night, although we have been ordering pizza twice a week lately. Here is an evening pizza: ham, pepperoni, ground beef, Italian sausage, peppers, mushrooms, olives, and extra cheese. Hit the spot. It looks so good.
Yeah, we have been getting crusts or dough at like Trader Joe's or Winco,
Mm-hmm.
coming home and making our own pizzas.
Mm.
Totally fun, really fun. And like what happened was we had gotten some snacking pepperoni at Costco.
Mm.
I call it snacking pepperoni because uh, Sean likes to snack on it all the time. It's like, no, it's meant for meals. Okay. And um, so we've got that, and we pick up a package of mozzarella cheese, and I don't use pizza sauce because it's ridiculous because they charge you more for less. Just
Yeah.
use marinara, and just slather the dough. And I like putting dehydrated onions on because they come off with a really oniony taste, and if they're not all the way soft, they got a little crunch to them too, which is kind of nice.
Mm.
Bacon bits and pepperoni. So, but I'll tell you, I could spend some time on this pizza.
Yes.
Looks good. I like the greasiness too, the shimmer. I love a good shimmer on a pizza. So,
Mm.
somebody went to or had a king's cake for Mardi Gras.
Yes, and a very, very fun one too. I've seen how they're made, and
So
very.
he found one slice and he found the baby.
I was I was wondering actually, but
Because I see the one slice over here at the by the gold um beads, and there's the baby already out. Because that the whole idea is, for those that you don't know, that you get this cake and it's for Mardi Gras. Everyone gets a piece of cake, and whoever's got this little plastic baby is like you're the winner of Mardi Gras. You get your wish or whatever, whatever their thing is. But um it's also terrifying when you bite into this baby. That's the other thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very fun looking cake though.
Yeah, and they're tasty. They're just kind of like at least the one I had tasted like, because it's not like a regular cake. It's more of a uh oh gosh, I can't think of an example, but it's a more dense cake, less fluffy. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. So then we have
Tiramisu.
thank you, today to celebrate Friday. And
Oh,
that,
he brought it home. That's his plate.
yeah, yep, that is beautiful. And then what I was referring to earlier, red velvet cake with a cream cheese
Oh,
middle layer. That
okay.
that cake looks so moist too.
Well, see, the secret of cake is that your frosting, the butter and the frosting should bleed over a little bit into the, like when the top of the frosting gets to be a little hard.
Yeah.
I mean that, frosting gets hard. It's fine. It gets hard, but when it does, usually the you've got your butter leaking out into the cake, which makes it even softer. I'm wondering, is that a cream cheese layer or is that like a white chocolate mousse?
In the middle of it is
Yeah.
cream cheese middle layer.
Okay. Looks good.
Yeah.
Now you know that that red velvet cake is chocolate cake that's dyed red.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Just
didn't know that for a long time,
I
but
know it's kind of awkward when you no, it can't be, but it is.
yeah. Let's see. Next up, we have some stuff from Tom.
Okay, so since we had so much fun with the egg rolls last time, we decided to okay, so last time we just made lumpia,
Mhm.
egg roll lumpias. And they were good. They were good. We enjoyed them. So, but one thing I've always wanted was crab ragoon egg rolls. Now,
Mm,
the crab ragoons, the little folded things, they're usually like little bites and they've got the cream cheese and the green
mm,
onions and the crab in them, right?
mm,
Everybody loves them. Well, in an egg roll form, it's too much.
mm.
And there's too much cream cheese, there's too much everything. Because the thing that works with the ragoons are their bites, or their you can tear them in half and have two, or you can throw the whole thing in your mouth and just enjoy it.
Right.
This is a lot of ingredients, and
Okay.
that's why it didn't work.
Mm,
And actually, that is the second one is the crab ragoons. The first one where it's a real tight on well, they're both pretty tight. Anyway, the second one is it's a cheeseburger egg roll. So
mm,
it's ground beef. And then I cooked up onions with the ground beef. And then once those onions were soft and the ground beef was cooked, I stirred in cream cheese
mm,
to give it some binding things. And then we took that and then we rolled it into the egg roll with some more cheese, some cheddar mix cheese, and then folded up and did those. Those were so good. I mean, you didn't even you. I kept trying to figure out a good dip for them, but they were so good on their own. They really didn't need a dip. We both thought that it needed more. He said freshness. I get that. I thought, like some fresh onion, like some white onion in there, like you have on a hamburger. And he thought maybe some jalapeno in there to give it, because I did spice the meat with cayenne, so it wasn't the heat, but he wanted the green. He wanted
yeah.
the taste. But they cooked up really nicely, and of course they always make too much. So I've got five of the crab ragoons in the freezer, and the egg rolls were a second meal the next night. So, but I threw them I froze them after we didn't eat them, froze them, put them into the air fryer and let them cook in there frozen,
Mm,
and they came out perfect. Except the second one, because we had two each. I bit into it, and all the meat and cheese that had been stirring in there, all the oils that comes off of that stuff spilled onto my chest and stomach.
oh, well, I
So
hope.
I'm sure there were chasers out there that would be going, "Oh, that's so hot."
Uh-huh.
And fortunately, it was not so hot, because that would have hurt.
Yeah.
But it took me because of the beef tallow, the beef fat. I had to really rinse off my chest and stomach, to get that, all off, because it was greasy. But it was tasty. That's all that matters.
Okay.
And so if you have any ideas for other egg rolls that we can try, let me know.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, I heard about because I figured we could do like a Philly cheesesteak one. That would be good. But maybe even but no, you don't have any. I was thinking, maybe a corned beef and cabbage, but that might be gross. But maybe what is it?
I just,
pastrami, like
mm,
pastrami in there might be
yeah.
good. I don't know. Maybe even a breakfast one.
I,
Do eggs and sausage and cheese, and then oh, that sounds good.
yeah.
That's really good. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's find out what Nephi had.
Well, Nephi had a $5 burger and fries when he was on a road trip with his family. And as you can see here, there's a glass of water and a big glass of probably Pepsi. And he's got some, what do they call those? Waffle cut
Crinkle
fries? No,
cut,
crinkle
crinkle.
fries. And a small smushed burger, which is just your basic burger without probably any of the produce and some sort of skewer through it. So,
It was $5.
yep,
Hey, you
not
know,
bad, $5.
when I was in Vegas, I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many meals got delivered on a sheet tray
Hmm.
like this.
Cool.
And this was the presentation. I'm paying $35 for my meal, and this is how it comes. It comes on a piece of parchment paper with some fries and a burger, and they go, "Here you go," and I'm like, "This is Vegas. What? You can't find a handful of parsley to throw in here? Come
Right.
on." Or twist. Remember the orange peel where they orange slice that they would twist and put that with your eggs and bacon in the morning? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure it was. I'm fine. I mean, I have no problem with this at all. But um, see, for $5, that's great. That's no presentation. And
Right.
if you look between the two drinks, it
Uh,
looks like a squirrel looking at us.
a squirrel.
Look at it. There's the eye, the nose, the hair of the squirrel. Maybe it's a chipmunk or something. You cannot see that?
No, I don't
It-
know.
It's
Talking about.
it's when you see things that in like the
Yeah.
uh in like wallpaper, or you're watching like on a tree, and or even stars, or clouds that look like things, oh my God, that cloud looks just like Barry Manilow, look at that. And then it blows a little bit and it doesn't look like him, but
Yeah.
it's called pareidolia, and that looks like a squirrel looking at me. I see a squirrel.
Wow. I,
But if I open it up, it
mhm.
looks like the bark of wood. I mean, the wood grain. One time I woke up, and in my closet I saw what looked like this old woman sitting like this tall, maybe a foot tall, maybe a foot and a half tall, sitting in my closet. I had a shelving,
Yeah.
and it was like I went, whoa, oh my God. So I took a really quick picture of it, which I still have.
Mm,
Um, and it was my clothes,
mm,
like underwear and socks and t-shirts and stuff like that. But the way they were positioned in just the right space, I could see an old haggard woman sitting there staring at me.
mm. Huh. Well, that is very cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely get that sometimes. For me, I have one of those popcorn ceilings, so
Oh yeah. Yeah.
just that all the time.
But thank you, Nephi, and that $5 burger makes me jealous.
Yeah. Okay, Golden Rule
Oh,
Service.
wait, speaking of that, did you hear that everyone's complaining now because of fast food is so expensive?
Well, yeah,
It,
it is.
it
God.
well, they said because they had a big convention, and the main problem that people were having with fast food was that fast food used to be cheap.
Mhm.
And that's why people would get fast food, because, well, we can grab dinner and go home, or we can go home and I can make dinner, but that's going to take a little longer, but it's probably going to be better. And then it's like, well, let's just pick up, a bucket of chicken. Let's pick up some burgers.
Yeah.
And now with burgers, I mean, you can't get your Coke and soda. You get a burger that's like $6, and your Coke and soda is $4. So you're
Mhm.
paying $10 or more for food.
Yeah.
When yeah, it's just, to me, it's just gotten way out of hand, because
Yeah.
um I
You're
was I was
especially
eating
go
what?
ahead. I'm sorry.
I was
Go
eating
ahead.
a lot of fast food, and the fast food that I was eating was stuff that was that I was getting on the app. And
Hmm.
the app, was actually starting to be as expensive as they were charging others. I was like, okay, I do not like this anymore.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
now look at this. Look at this picture.
Okay.
Doesn't that look like a doll or somebody sitting there, see the
Yeah.
eyes, the nose, and all it is like some sweatpants and or thermals. I think it was my thermals make
Yeah.
up the gown, and then I don't know. Anyway, I saw that when I woke up and I was scared.
uh,
And
um,
I'll go ahead and post that to Chubs Gone Wild so people can see that.
yeah, go see that. And then, of course, you can see the photos that we were talking about in What's in Your Lunchbox over on
Absolutely.
Facebook group as well. And please feel free to send yours in to chubsgonewild@gmail.com. And yeah, I was saying that the burgers too. I mean, like the basic little cheeseburger that you used to get for 39 cents and give to your kid, is like $3 now.
It's ridiculous.
So, all right. Golden Rule Services want you to know about an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. PrEP is a medication proven to be 99% effective when in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, visit sacgrs.org. Find Tom's other podcast at swarmerandjudd.com. Find my books at justkisstheguy.com. Find all of our links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild. And give us a call at
40869. Chubs.
Yes. All right. Thank you for tuning in. We love you, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.